The story of Nigeria's independence is rooted in the event of the Berlin Conference of 1884, where European powers carved up Africa with little regard for the continent's indigenous peoples. Nigeria, a product of that imperial scramble, was later amalgamated in 1914 by Lord Lugard, fusing the northern and southern protectorates for administrative convenience. From then on, British colonial rule was enforced through a series of constitutional instruments, from the Clifford Constitution of 1922 to the Macpherson Constitution of 1951, culminating in the Independence Constitution of 1960. On October 1st, 1960, Nigeria achieved formal independence, with Britain declaring it fit to govern itself politically and economically. The nationalist efforts of visionaries like Sir Herbert Macaulay, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and Chief Obafemi Awolowo laid the foundation for a free Nigeria. However, decades later, critical questions persist. Has the country truly achieved sovereignty or merely flag independence? Scholars like Frantz Fanon have argued that many African nations, including Nigeria, were granted symbolic freedom without true autonomy, yet economically and politically tethered to their colonial past. In today's Nigeria, some say neocolonialism continues to shape policy, economy, and governance. As Nigeria turns 65, opinions remain divided. President Bola Tinubu maintains an optimistic outlook, declaring that the country has undergone an economic surgery that positions it for global relevance.
I'm pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday's pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safer harbor. Under our leadership, our economy is recovering fast, and the reforms we started over 2 years ago are delivering tangible results.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan, while acknowledging the hurdle, insecurity, weak institutions, and economic inequality, urges Nigerians not to lose hope in the country's future. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, describes Nigeria as still a work in progress.
Our journey from 1960 to this moment has been marked by triumphs and trials, moments of joy and of testing. But through it all, the Nigerian spirit has remained high and unbroken. We have endured challenges in governance, economy, security, and social cohesion. Our true strength lies in our capacity to consistently rise after every storm, to rebuild after every setback, and forge ahead with resilience and faith in our destiny as a nation.
On his part, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says while Nigeria may be healing from economic shocks such as fuel subsidy removal, Nigeria is not a federation of incompatibles and remains on track to reach the promised land.
This is a journey. It is not yet a destination, and Mr. President is driving this country to that destination. He is not going to accomplish it by the time he leaves office. Others will come and continue. But what is important is that a solid foundation has been laid for all of us to build on.
The president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Archbishop Daniel Oko, offers a more sobering perspective, urging governments to address the unfinished business of nation building, from food security and inflation to youth unemployment, economic reforms, and the growing cost of living. After 6.5 decades of independence, experts argue that Nigeria should have made substantial strides in areas like economic diversification and stability, robust accountable governance, social development and infrastructure, security and national cohesion. Observers believe that Nigeria's potential remains enormous, but only if the nation boldly addresses its structural weaknesses and unlocks the energy of its people through visionary leadership and inclusive development.